Hi, welcome to eGMAT. I'm Sundeep, a senior GMAT strategy expert and a quant subject matter expert here at eGMAT. In this short video, I'll quickly talk about the eGMAT's course offerings and the overall learning architecture that actually enabled us to deliver 3 times more success stories than any other test prep company in the last 1.5 years. Before jumping into the course, let me take a couple of seconds to give you an update on the eGMAT success statistics. The success stories of eGMAT and the statistics can be very easily verified on the public platforms. For example, if you quickly take a look at GMAT Club's verified reviews section, you will always notice eGMAT having 3 times more success stories than any other test prep company out there. And if you dig deeper, you will be able to look at all the individual success stories which are verified. I'm using the word verified because before letting a student publish the review, GMAT Club manually verifies the score report of the student, only then allows the student to publish the review. And you can see the verified tick mark here. The student got a 695. This is the text of the review, and this is the rating given by the student. This particular student actually improved to a 725 later on. And you can see all these other success stories. This is a student who got a 705 very recently and published the review. This is a student who actually got a 735 verified score report again and submitted the review. You will always find eGMAT success stories to be 3 times more than any other test prep companies. Similarly, if you go to eGMAT's YouTube channel, you will again see eGMAT students publishing 3 times more success stories than any other test prep company. And you will notice different case studies as well here. For example, this is a student who wanted to improve in 20 days just by few points, 635 to 695 in just 20 days. That is the requirement there. Similarly, you will notice people with a low verbal score getting to that 94th percentile in just about 15 days. You will see people who needed improvement in 200 points, more than that. You'll see different case studies. Somebody who was struggling in quant getting to Q90, somebody who's struggling in verbal getting to that 95th, 96th percentile. Different kinds of case studies you will witness here if you go to eGMAT's YouTube channel. Now let's talk about the eGMAT course offerings, starting from the mock tests. When you get the eGMAT subscription, you'll get access to 3 types of mock tests. Number one, Sigma X mock tests. These are 5 full-length adaptive mock tests, very accurate. Number two, you get access to 50 sectional mock tests, verbal, quant, and data insights together. No other test prep company out there offers these many sectional mock tests. So you can access them from the quizzing platform Scholarinium. Number three, you get access to GMAT Club tests. GMAT Club on their platform offers these 37 sectional adaptive tests at near $80 price point. When you become an eGMAT student, you get access to this free of charge. So you have these additional practice tests as well. When you take a mock test on the GMAT platform, you will get enhanced score reports, just like how the real GMAT would give you, and better analytics as well. For example, let's say you took a mock test, you got a 675, you get to know your verbal percentile, quant percentile, DI percentile, and within verbal, you get to see your percentiles in CR, RC, there is a scope of improvement here. Similarly, in quant, you get to see your arithmetic and algebra percentiles. In data insights, you get to see percentiles in each of these subsections, just like how the real GMAT would give you. And of course, you get access to other data types and data points like these graphs that tell you how much time you're spending on a question, whether you got it correct or incorrect, what kind of question is that, of what difficulty that is. You get to see all these in-depth analytics as well when you're taking these mock tests. Now let's talk about the planning aspect. Typically, your journey will begin with the first Sigma X mock test, and you would get an entire enhanced score report from that mock test. And that enhanced score report goes as an input into this AI-driven planner tool. And the tool will also ask you some more questions. In about 5 minutes or so, you will have a completely customized study plan that would be created, and it looks something like this. Let's try to understand the philosophy behind this. This is a student who wants to improve from 545 to 695. And on the left hand side, you can see all the current starting scores that came out from the mock test. So the student is weaker in reading comprehension, slightly stronger in algebra, average in data sufficiency, weaker in two-part analysis. That's how the strengths and weaknesses are. Now look at the target scores on the right hand side. A slightly lower target on reading comprehension, a bigger target in algebra because the student is stronger there. And if you look at two-part analysis, the target is slightly lower. Data sufficiency, the target is slightly higher. As per the strengths and weaknesses, if we set the targets, then achieving them becomes very realistic, and we can get them done in limited amount of time as well. And the combination of all these small targets will give us that 695. So customized targeting is number one output from the planner tool. Number two, you can input all the number of hours that you can put in on a daily basis. Maybe on a Monday you can study 3 hours, on a Tuesday you can study 4 hours, on weekends you can study more hours. You can input that. Accordingly, you will see how much effort and how much time will be required in each subsection. For example, the student is weaker in CR, so it takes about 2 weeks of effort and time investment to get to that 90th percentile. But in algebra, it takes only about 0.7 weeks to get to that 93rd percentile. So you know from the beginning where most of your effort is going to go in. You will see that. And accordingly, you will get an estimated GMAT date, which is very practical date as well. So 545 to 695 is about just a 2.5 month study plan that we are looking at here at 27 hours on a weekly basis. So you get your custom timelines. Number three, you will get customized strategies as well. For example, in CR, the student is weaker. In algebra, the student is stronger. We cannot approach both these sections in the same way. The strategy will be different. So, in critical reasoning, the recommendation would be to do the entire learning first, only then jump into assessment and testing stage. That's how the journey is going to look like. But in quant, if you look at arithmetic or algebra, you'll see the recommendation is directly jump into the practice and assessment and testing stage. We'll identify the weak areas in that stage and we'll do learning only for those weak areas. We are only going to fine tune the overall preparation. We won't study entire quant section there. So the strategies will be very different as well. Customized targets, customized timelines, customized strategy for each and every subsection. That way you will have a truly personalized study plan. Mastering the basics is a very important aspect of your GMAT preparation. If you are just beginning the preparation or if you are stuck at a low score, you must definitely work on your fundamentals and basics. And we have dedicated modules for that. For example, in verbal, you have this Master Comprehension Foundation module. You must do that before jumping into CR and RC. Similarly, in quant, you have a dedicated quant basics module. Similarly, in data insights, if you go into any subsection, the first module will be the fundamental module that talks about building strong foundation there. Let's understand the logic behind this. For example, in verbal, if you go to master comprehension, what do you do here? Before jumping into CR and RC and start handling these complex paragraphs and passages, we take a step back and try to learn how to handle long and complex sentences first of all. If there is a complex sentence in front of you, how do you read it in a certain way so that you can extract the logic from it? If you can do that, that skill can be extrapolated to paragraphs and passages later on. So that is the basics. Similarly, in quant, if you go to these quant basics, you will be able to see all these very basic topics. For example, basics of numbers, number classification, integers, natural numbers, whole numbers, all those definitions you will study, and all these other aspects as well. Fractions, decimals, how to calculate percent ratios, very basics you will see. But one good thing about quant is that we have this space architecture. You don't need to blindly do all the topics. For example, take a look at this student, basics of numbers. In the diagnostic quiz in the beginning, the student got 92%. All the questions that he got correct belong to these topics: operations, exponents, PEMDAS, etc. So we are asking him to skip all these lessons and don't waste time on them. Whatever questions he got incorrect that belong to number classification, so he did that video lesson and took the practice quiz and got 100%. So he improved the basics in number classification, and that's it, not more than that. Wherever if you're getting very good scores in the diagnostic quizzes, you can skip them as well. So even the basics modules you're going to do in a very customized way, but basics and foundations are very important like this. Let's look at the improvement architecture. In every subsection, CR, RC, arithmetic, algebra, you have three stages of improvement. Stage 1, the learning stage. Stage 2, cementing stage. Stage 3, the test readiness stage. Depending upon your current score, you may skip some of these stages. For example, if your starting score is very high in critical reasoning, you may skip stage 1, directly jump into stage 2. If your starting score is very low, then you have to do all the three stages. Let's take critical reasoning as an example and understand what this stage 1 would look like. If you go to CR or any other subsection for that matter, you have the similar architecture. So you have all these learning modules. In each learning module, you have a certain structure that you should go through. For example, here 2.1 to 2.5, these are concept video lessons. We dig deeper into the concepts so that you have full clarity on all the concepts that are tested on the GMAT. Not only that, when you do a video lesson, we want to figure out the level, the quality of learning that you got from that video lesson. So there is an assessment that is inbuilt into the learning activity, and the number, the score in that quiz will tell us the level of your learning, the quality of your learning. So all these scores are telling me that you have a good understanding of the concepts. Similarly, you have these application video lessons, which will teach you a step-by-step process to apply your conceptual knowledge to solve the questions. So conceptual learning and the application are integrated then and there itself. This is one of the reasons why we deliver the most number of score improvements out there. And of course, these numbers will tell us a story about the level of learning, the quality of learning that you got from these video lessons. Immediately, additional practice to reinforce your learnings. You learned your concepts, you learned the method, and you are doing additional practice to reinforce the learning that you got from the application lessons. That way you are mastering the methods with additional practice. So that is something which you will do throughout the critical reasoning. You will see the same architecture. You have your concept lessons, application lessons, additional practice quizzes, and you should get all these good scores. You would have solved about 80 quizzes or 80 assessments throughout critical reasoning, and every time you take an assessment, you should go to this journey view to understand the level of competence that you are building and to track your score improvement, to be honest. For example, you can pick each activity and you can compare your score with other people. For example, in this application lessons, on an average, every eGMAT got 50% score, you are getting 75%. That means you are outperforming other people. That's why you see grade A. Grade A means your level of competence in that specific topic is very high, up to a 90th percentile level. Similarly, if you see grade B, that means you are at par with other people. That means still scope of improvement is there to build your competence in that specific topic. You may redo specific parts of the video lesson. If you see a C grade in a quiz, that means you're performing below par compared to other people. That is a stopping point. You have to invest more time and do that specific video lesson, redo that specific video lesson to get a better understanding of that specific topic. So for example, if we go back to this student's example, you can see in inference, from this 2.5 video lesson, the student got only 60% score. That is a grade C. So he has put in more amount of time. The video lesson is for 40 minutes. He spent 57 minutes on it. Because of that, in the next set of fresh practice quizzes, the student got 86%, 83%. Those are A grades if you look at the grades. So that kind of additional effort you must put in. And not only that, all these 80 assessments are clubbed together into 4 learning levels. That means after every 3 days, you're going to get a grade for that specific learning level. First 3 days, you get an A grade. Next 3 days, you get an A grade. Next 3 days, you get an A grade. These grades are predictive analytics based on 50,000 student data. If you are getting this A grade, that means I can easily predict that you're going to score very well in the testing stage and in the assessment stage. So every 3 days, if you are receiving this A grade, that will tell you you are moving in the right direction. You are tracking your improvement. If you see a C grade, that means it's a stopping point. We have to take action for that specific learning level. And you can see the same thing happening in quant and data insights as well. In quant, actually, you have this architecture called pace. In your learning view, your journey will get a little bit more customized. For example, let's say linear equations. You see these 2 diagnostic quizzes. One diagnostic quiz is testing your conceptual knowledge of linear equations. Another diagnostic quiz is trying to test your skill in linear equations. So in this case, the student has 100% in the concept diagnostic quiz. That means he knows the concepts, but the skill to solve very hard level questions by applying that concept is missing, only 70%. So we are recommending him to skip all the concept lessons and concept quizzes, save time, and do the process skills learning activities and take the quizzes that are inbuilt within them. So look at this. Earlier the skill score is 70%. Now it is 100 back to back in a consistent way. Done. You have improved your skill in linear equations. Conceptual understanding is already there anyway. So in every single topic, you don't need to do all the files unnecessarily. You will take the diagnostic quizzes depending upon your performance in the diagnostic quizzes. You'll skip some of them, you will do some of them, and the score should come out to be very good. And of course, in the journey view, we would look at the grades, and all these A grades are telling me that this guy is going to do very well in the testing stage. That gives me the predictive analytics. Similarly, same thing applies in data insights as well. Every subsection, every module will have the same architecture, and the journey view, your grade should come out to be very good. That's how the stage one of the learning looks like. And no other test prep company gives metrics like this that track the quality of your learning. It's not just about doing a bunch of video lessons or taking a bunch of practice quizzes. It's about knowing the quality of your learning every 30 minutes and every 3 days, every 4 days, how well you have done, how much of competence you have built in critical reasoning, whether you're really improving or not. Ability to track that is very important. That is one of the reasons why we deliver 3 times more success stories than any other test prep company out there. Now let's look at the stage two of the preparation. When you are done with your learning stage, you will enter stage two, cementing stage. This is a buffer stage before you jump into taking sectional mock tests. So in stage two, whatever you have learned in stage one, you will try to cement those learnings. You will try to solidify those learnings by practicing a bunch of medium difficulty level and hard difficulty level quizzes, and will identify if there are any problems and will fix them. Let's see how it gets done. So if you go to Verbal Scholaranium quizzing platform, in the cementing stage, you have to take these cementing quizzes in critical reasoning, in medium difficulty level, hard difficulty level, in standard timing conditions. You will take a bunch of these quizzes and you will see how you are progressing. For example, in this student's case, the target is set at 70% for medium difficulty level quizzes. Quiz 1, 50%, then improve to 70%, then improve to 90 and 90. The target is set at 70%. He is getting 90%. Very good. That means very clearly we can see improvement here. So then he went to hard difficulty level quizzes. Target is set at 55%. He took 5 quizzes. In almost all the 5 quizzes, the scores are consistently above the target. So there was improvement, and then there is consistency. Cementing stage is done if you can achieve that. That is the core idea of this. Now let's understand how this improvement happened. The student got low scores here, 50%, 70%, and then improved. So when you are an eGMAT student, you would be assigned a dedicated mentor in the beginning of your journey. Your mentor's role is very crucial in your score improvement, and whenever you are stuck at a low score, your mentor's job is to analyze all these data points and give you improvement plans. For example, in this student's case, if we go to the skill data section, we can actually see within critical reasoning at a block level what is happening. So his mentor as well would have done this particular analysis and provided improvement plans to this particular student. He executed them very diligently. That's why he has improved. For example, this is how we can see here in the inference block. In hard difficulty level, the score is slightly lower. There is scope of improvement, but in assumption, weaken, strength, and block, the score is very good at 70% in hard difficulty level. So inference is identified as a weak area. Now the improvement plan would include going back and revising some of the learning modules, and also looking at the questions that you got incorrect. Let's say in this particular quiz, you got some of the questions incorrect, and you would obviously spend some time looking at the solutions of the incorrect questions, and the solutions will be in a step by step format. Step 1, passage analysis. Step 2 would be pre-thinking, and step 3 would be answer choice elimination. You'd have to go through these steps and try and figure out at what step you made a mistake so that you don't repeat that in the future. If you have some doubt, you can use this ask an expert option. We provide subject matter expert support as well. You can ask the question, and within 24 hours you'll get a detailed explanation from your subject matter expert. In the last 3 months, our median time to respond to these queries is just less than 2 hours, so we do respond much faster. So you have to do all these additional learning activities to attack that weak area, and your mentor will draft an improvement plan and give it to you to work on this. And we can track the improvement as well. Once you work on inference, this student would have taken these custom quizzes. You can select the quizzing only hard level questions difficulty from critical reasoning, and you can ask the quizzing platform to give you questions only from inference. Earlier your score was lower, you have put in additional effort. Now in this custom quizzes, your score should improve. You're targeting a specific weakness and trying to track the improvement, and you will see whether that improvement happened or not. For example, if I go back to the skill data section, in critical reasoning at a block level inference. If I click on hard difficulty level, look at this student got a 40%, then improved to 57%, then improved to 71% in a customized targeted way, while the timing remained consistent. Everything went well. He executed the improvement plan given by his mentor, and we can clearly see the results here. Now, this is how stage 2 works. Once everything goes well in stage 2, you would jump into stage 3, wherein you will take sectional mock tests. You can take 50 sectional mock tests together, verbal, quant, and DA together. No other test prep company offers 50 sectional mock tests. And if you look at these sectional mock tests here, you can actually see this is a student who took about 8 sectional mock tests in quant, and if I open the latest sectional mock tests, you will get the same enhanced score report. You will get the percentile scores, you will get the timing chart. Even for the sectional mock test, you will get enhanced score reports. This is a 97th percentile in quant. If you look at this, it's saying pass. Pass means you actually scored higher than the target that is given to you in the study plan. You have set a target of 90 percentile in arithmetic and 95th percentile in quant. 95th percentile is the target. You are getting 97th percentile. That's why it says pass. If it says fails, that means you're still below the target. So you can take multiple of these sectional mock tests as well. And when you're taking these multiple sectional mock tests, again we will track the improvement. For example, if I go to the skill data section, critical reasoning, progression charts, hard difficulty level, you can see that the student was getting 65% consistently, then slowly improved to 75%, 85%, because his mentor is drafting improvement plans and student is executing them diligently, and we can see score improvement in critical reasoning. Similarly, if we go to quant, we'll be able to see similar improvement here. While doing the sectional mock tests, if we look at the progression charts in number properties, earlier the student was getting 70, 70, 70 in hard difficulty level, and there is a straightforward improvement to 90, and that 90% stayed consistent as well because improvement plans were executed for number properties, and now the score is consistent. And once even in the sectional mock test your scores are very good and you are seeing that pass as a number for sectional mock test, then you will enter the full length mock test. Here as well, we should see consistency. Every time you take a sectional mock test or a full length mock test, you drop an email to your mentor. Your mentor will record a video like this doing the entire analysis of your mock test, and they will give recommendations on what to do next. You have to execute upon those recommendations by watching that video. You have to do that. If your scores are very well in the full length mock test as well, that means you are fully ready. So to conclude, in the last 3 years, we have invested more than $5 million to build all these tools to deliver completely customized learning. Even a private tutor can never do this kind of customized learning and tracking. So if your grades are good in the learning stage, if your scores are good in the cementing stage, if your scores are very good in the progression charts, if your scores are very good in the sectional mock tests, if your scores are very good in the full length mock tests as well, when all these metrics match, that tells us a story, and that's when you're fully ready for the GMAT. You should schedule it and you should take it. So at a very high level, this is how we approach things. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions on this, and I'll be happy to help you out.